This is the most consequential election any one of you, no matter how old or young you are, has ever participated in. 4 more years of Donald Trump will go down as an aberration. Hard to overcome the damage he's done, but we can overcome it. 8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. The America we know will no longer exist.
As Joe Biden's comments at last night's debate, they come as nearly half of the House Democrats now support some type of impeachment inquiry against President Trump. But is this a smart strategy for the Democrats? Joining me now, Kimberly Strassel, a Potomac Watch columnist at the Wall Street Journal and member of the paper's editorial board, and great to have you here. I think that's pretty interesting. I watched both debates all night long. Nobody was talking about impeachment, and yet this count of Democrats keeps rising for the numbers of Democrats saying that they're for it. What's going on?
Well, we didn't get it until the second night, and then only at the end, and then only because the moderators brought it up in the end, Dana. And, you know, and I think that that's because, look, they have avoided this because a lot of the smart frontrunners in particular in the party would rather not have to talk about this issue. It's why, for instance, Biden still has not committed himself to this. At the end of May, he said, well, House Democrats may have no choice but to go there, but he was lucky he didn't even have to answer that question last night. They know that this is not a winning strategy for them, and yet the numbers continue to mount.
But listen, take a listen to Senator Lindsey Graham. He was talking about the Mueller report. I know you've covered this very closely, and basically saying that there were scare tactics involved. Watch this.
There's 2 ways to do this. Throw everything, the kitchen sink at the accused and hope he pleads to something, or make sure that when you charge them, it will not be undermined because you overcharge. This is what happened with Mueller. They tried to scare people into ratting on Trump. It didn't work. They were overcharged. And I hope some of these people will have their case revisited.
Do you think that that's the case? And also, will these cases be revisited, as Lindsey Graham just said?
Yeah, you know, Lindsey Graham is always slightly ahead of the rest of the pack. And what he's doing here is foreshadowing what the debate is likely to be in coming months, especially as soon as we get this Inspector General report from Michael Horowitz that talks about the other side of the story, the FBI's role in this, and then the prosecutor's side of this as well, too. And what Lindsey Graham is saying is absolutely right, is that Mueller used really aggressive tactics, from breaking attorney-client privilege in the case of Michael Cohen to reviving old laws that really had never been criminally prosecuted much, like the Foreign Agent Registration Act. These were really aggressive tactics, and I do think that some of these cases are going to get revisited, and those methods are going to get questioned, along with everything else that happened in 2016 from the people who first started what was a fake Russia collusion story.
There was some news that broke just before the show started, and that was that the Justice Department has decided not to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey for leaking classified information. Now, Comey, of course, remember, he penned the memos on his interactions with the president in the days leading up to his firing. Now, I guess, based on an investigation, that they're deciding not to go forward with any prosecution on that. What do you think?
Well, look, I think the good news is that what this signals is that Inspector General Horowitz is looking at everyone equally and taking the position that nobody is above the law. So Comey is in his sights as much as anyone else. That should make people feel good. As for the decision to not prosecute, I don't think any of us should necessarily second guess the Justice Department's decision at this point. We haven't seen what evidence they have. We haven't been in those discussions where they weigh the very difficult questions of whether or not it could stick in court. Could you actually make it happen? So, I mean, and there may also be an issue here for Bill Barr of not wanting to look like an administration that's going after, you know, the previous administration, people in power. And that's a fair calculation as well, too.
Yeah, a fair calculation, probably, because that's a high bar, not just Attorney General.
It is a high bar.
All right. Yeah. All right, Kimberly Strassel, love to see you. Thank you.